Guys, the next bit that we're doing is for here that will go in this section, which is a storage / seating unit of the sort, something like this.
If you're new to this channel, we're James and Sarah, also known as The Whole World or Nothing.
We used to be full-time backpackers, exploring the world and writing about our travels on our blog.
And then the world changed.
We got repatriated from Peru and found ourselves back in the UK at a loose end. So we decided to do a van conversion.
Make sure you hit subscribe now so you can join us in this series as we share the highs and many lows of converting an old Mercedes Sprinter panel van into our dream home on wheels.
Right, here's the plans for the table and storage area. Got all the diagrams, the dimensions and the all important cut list. So hopefully that is all measured up and calculated correctly.
It wasn't, but we weren't to know that. So we set about cutting out the carcass of the cupboard before routing and sanding grooves into it for shelves and gluing it all together.
Alright, we've got to stop working outside now because it's pretty dark and you kind of need the light to be able to see where you're cutting. But this is where we have got up to with this cabinet. So what we're doing, where are we up to?
This is the drawer that's going in the bottom of the thing that we're building, which is going to slide out. So what we're doing now is just about to put the wheels on, which are what it's going to slide out on. I'm just drawing a line to make sure that they actually go in a straight line because we don't want them like at different angles because
It won't pull out.
it won't pull out. We'll get those on and I think we stick the front of the drawer on and then, I don't know, see where we are then.
You having fun?
Yeah, it sounds like an arcade. Tell everyone what you've done.
No, Jay, it's just 100mm too long, which is better than 100mm too short.
Yeah, that's true.
The problem is we already made the drawer, so now we've got to try and cut it off.
Which we're going to do in situ. With only one clamp as well.
No, I'm the other clamp.
To explain why we had to cut this drawer down by 10 centimetres, you sort of have to understand the design, which we run through in detail in our van tour, which if you haven't watched it yet, then you probably should. We've linked it at the top of the screen. But basically, the drawer that we're building here is designed to pull out and plug the gap between two seats at either end and convert it into a small bed or a large sofa. But we didn't factor in the 10 centimetre of foam that would be sitting on top of it to make it comfortable. Fortunately, we noticed our mistake just in time, but rather than take it all apart again, as we were extremely frustrated by this point, we just decided to see if we could use a circular saw on it as it was. And luckily, it actually worked.
We started the next day in a second-hand shop. And no, we weren't browsing for chintzy knickknacks to fill our van with. We'd gone to search for a very specific item to transform into our pull-out table.
Right, tell us about your table then.
What a table. We went to a charity shop. I had the idea yesterday that because it's quite difficult to get large sheets of wood that are bigger than kind of like 600mm by say about 200mm, I think they generally tend to be for bits of furniture boards, but they're like for shelving and stuff like that. So, had the idea last night to buy a table, just an old table, second-hand table, and then take the tabletop off and repurpose that as our table. So we went to a charity shop today, we found one which was quite reasonable in price, 30 quid. It's virtually the right size, isn't it?
It is.
Pretty much like maybe about 20 centimetres off.
Yeah.
So All we're going to have to do is like sand that down, get it into nice condition, cut it down to size, and then hopefully that is going to work as our tabletop. This is it. All that we wanted really was just this face.
Yeah.
It's solid wood, so when we sand it down, it's hopefully going to look alright. And I think we're just going to go over it with the same oil that we used, the Danish oil that we used on the worktop. Hopefully that will make it come up in a nice colour, bring out the grain and all that jazz. And I think that's a pretty good way of getting a larger sheet of wood, because they're difficult to come by. You either get sheets of ply,
Yeah.
or you get that furniture board, but it doesn't actually go up to huge sizes unless you go to really specialist places.
It looks so nice. Really smooth as well. Whoa.
Wine stains and coffee stains and all that. Did you notice that before?
Yeah, there was loads of marks on it.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good.
It looks nice.
I love them the lights.
Yeah, you look great. We got some new lights, by the way, so it can work later.
And the first thing we did under those lights was to apply the first coat of Danish oil to our newly sanded tabletop.
The next day we were on an absolute mission and cracked on with getting all the individual elements of the unit finished. We cut the doors, we glued fascias on, we filled it all and we sanded everything down, ready for painting. Alright, so we are just getting this unit cleaned and ready to paint. Hopefully we can get quite a few coats done today so that we can get it fitted tomorrow, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, probably not happening.
Well, the thing is, the weather's totally not on our side here today, so we're going to have to paint everything in this small little space as well, which isn't ideal, because this is too big to do it in the van as well, so yeah, see how it goes. Alright, so this should all be nicely dried, ready for the second coat. You ready? It's cold, isn't it?
Too cold. Get back in.
No.
Fun.
Hey.
I eventually came back out after a quick pep talk from Sarah, and we started the rest of the painting. We have mentioned this in previous videos, but we can't stress enough just how long the painting takes. And the time is doubled for things like doors where both sides need painting, but you have to wait for the first side to dry before you can do the other one. So if you're doing your own van build and haven't got to this stage yet, prepare yourself for the utter tedium of painting, because it ain't no fun.
Whilst everything was drying, we decided to make use of the time and do the quick job of cladding the back area. But it immediately started pelting it down with rain, so we came up with the fantastic idea of building a tarpaulin between the doors to keep us dry.
After an almighty tussle, we eventually got it into place. Or so we thought. So we scrapped the rain cover and just cracked on regardless.
Well, you can't say that we are not determined. Got the umbrella out. I'm just providing a bit of a shield because
We really want to try and get this side finished, just down there. We've still got the other side to do, but it's not going to get done today. It's just started raining like far too much, and looking at the sky, it doesn't look like it's going to stop, but just going to get that bit done. There's so many bits to this latest unit that we're creating, isn't there?
There are.
And so many layers that need to go on stuff, like, it's just a complicated thing to do. Might not seem like it, but it is. Oh, this is the part of the table that we bought from the charity shop that's been sanded and taken apart. So we've had to fill a few parts where it was glued, or we've had to knock it, and so we're just tidying it up and treating it, because this has got to go back on the table. Are you having fun?
Always. Best time of my life. It's dark, it's cold. So yeah, what's not to love?
Go on then, show us.
Here it is. And that is the table. I mean, obviously it's not got a tabletop yet, so...
It's a table frame.
It's a table frame. The tabletop's going to sit on top of that. We're going to pull out. We've got legs that actually do fit now into these corners here, so they provide a little bit more stability, although I don't think it actually necessarily needs it, but it depends on what we're doing on the table, doesn't it?
Doing a dance?
Yes, we'll need the legs for that. But yeah, it's all working pretty nicely. Just got to screw the tabletop on and we're done.
And the front.
And the front, and we're done.
The moment of truth.
Are you ready for this?
I'm not sure. Show us the underneath of it then, so I can see it here. Okay.
Yes?
Yeah, well, I know what it looks like, but you know, just so people want to see. If they want to see. Whoa!
That.
Qué bueno!
Soft closes.
Come round to the front. Nice. Nice, nice, nice.
We schlepped it into the van to check that it all fit and worked properly in the space.
So go on then, give us a demo. Whoa! That is pretty sweet, right?
What about this?
Soft close.
Never gets old. Yeah, so it all fits, it all works,
Yep.
More importantly. We've got a few more bits and pieces to finish it off, but we're pretty much there with this.
I was going to say, with the table. So today, or this morning at least, I am doing some work on the computer. Got a little desk set up there, nice and cosy. Jay's working down here, so he is trying to get this area finished today. So put the doors on here and the drawer in place, and there's cladding going on here, and maybe get the other seat built in that area there. Go on then, show us the drawer. Whoa!
Look at that.
We chucked some cladding up either side of our new unit and built the seats in a really simple design using 34 by 34 mm battens, just cut down to size and screwed together with some uprights for support. We then cut 12mm ply to fit and made the space below accessible by adding hinges to allow the tops to lift up. Unfortunately, we didn't complete the whole thing, so you'll have to wait a few weeks to see the doors go on. But we promise you it'll be worth it.
Well, that's it for this week, friends. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button down below and drop us a comment too. We love having a chat down there. And if you're new around here, then why not subscribe and hit that little alarm bell whilst you're at it so you get notified every time we post a new video. Next week, we're cutting a massive hole in the floor and installing our diesel heater. Catch you then.
It's the money, yeah. It's the money, it's the money, it's the money.